In my family, success had only one definition. A high-paying job, a fancy title, a luxury car parked in the driveway. My older siblings had all achieved those things. One was a lawyer, one was a doctor, the other owned several successful businesses. Then there was me. I was an artist. I designed logos, illustrations, and digital branding for small companies. I loved my work, but my family called it a hobby. Every holiday dinner ended the same way. When are you getting a real job? You draw pictures for a living. Your younger cousins earn more than you. Everyone laughed. Even my parents joined in. After a while, I stopped defending myself. There was no point. No matter what I achieved, it was never enough. One afternoon, my cousin invited me to her wedding. I happily accepted. Little did I know, that wedding would completely change how my family saw me. The wedding was unlike anything I had ever seen. A beautiful ballroom, crystal chandeliers, fresh flowers everywhere. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Guests whispered excitedly. The bride's father was one of the country's most successful entrepreneurs. Everyone admired him. Some people even seemed nervous around him. Meanwhile, my family continued treating me like I didn't belong. When relatives introduced themselves, they proudly listed everyone's careers. This one's a doctor. He's an attorney. She owns 3 companies. Then they pointed toward me. And this one is still trying to make a living drawing. The group laughed politely. I smiled as if it didn't hurt. Inside, it hurt more than they knew. So I quietly stepped outside onto the terrace to get some fresh air. That's when everything changed. While standing alone, I noticed an older gentleman looking at one of the wedding banners. He turned toward me. You designed this, didn't you? I blinked in surprise. Yes. He smiled immediately. I thought so. He began pointing out small details. The typography, the color balance, the custom illustrations. Things almost nobody else would notice. I stared at him. How did you know? He laughed. Because I've admired your work for years. Before I could respond, several guests approached him respectfully. Only then did I realize he wasn't just another guest. He was the bride's father, one of the wealthiest businessmen in the country. He shook my hand warmly. I've been hoping to meet the person behind those designs. My heart nearly stopped. The bride's father smiled and raised his glass. Then he gently tapped a spoon against it. The room became quiet. I'd like everyone's attention for a moment. Hundreds of guests turned toward him, including my family. He looked directly at me. Tonight, everyone is admiring this wedding. The invitations, the decorations, the branding, the visual experience. Then he smiled. Almost all of it was created by one incredibly talented artist. He called me to the stage. I walked forward, completely stunned. He placed a hand on my shoulder. My company has worked with designers around the world, but few understand storytelling through design the way this person does. The room erupted into applause. I looked toward my family. For the first time, they weren't laughing. They were speechless. After the applause settled, the businessman handed me a business card. I've been searching for someone like you. I'd like you to lead the creative direction for my international projects. The room gasped. It wasn't just another freelance job. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. A contract worth more money than I had ever imagined. My parents looked at one another in disbelief. Relatives who had ignored me all evening suddenly wanted to shake my hand. People who once laughed at my career now called me talented. Nothing about me had changed. Only their opinion had, and that said everything. Months later, my life looked very different. I had my own creative studio, a growing team, clients from around the world. One evening, my parents visited my office. They stood quietly, looking at the artwork covering the walls. My father sighed. We spent years measuring success by titles. My mother wiped away a tear. We never stopped to see your gift. I smiled gently. I never needed you to understand my work. I only needed you to respect it. There was a long silence. Then my father nodded. You were never the family's failure. We were. As they left, I looked around the studio and remembered every joke, every insult, and every moment they made me feel small. Those memories no longer hurt, because I had learned something priceless. You don't need everyone to believe in your dream. Sometimes, all it takes is one person who truly recognizes your talent. And sometimes, The loudest applause comes only after years of silent hard work. Because real success doesn't prove your critics wrong. It proves that you never needed their permission to become who you were always meant to be.
Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a new emotional story. Your support means more than words can say, and it helps us continue bringing these untold stories to life.